Alexander, welcome to Europe Today. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for the invitation.
First, let's just talk about that developing story. We're hearing new reports of a 20-point plan. Do you have any hope in this?
I think that we must focus on two issues. First, whether or not this 20 points plan is able to stop the war, not to provide a pause for Putin to retreat, to regroup, and to attack again. And the question is, does this 20 points plan contain the real security guarantees which make Putin understand that it's impossible for him to destroy and to occupy the whole country and move further to attack next European country, but he must to stop. And second, whether or not this 20 points plan have human dimension.
And of course, the main sticking point to end the war, Alexander, is of course territory. Can you just remind our viewers why Ukrainians cannot concede territory?
It's because it's not empty spaces. It's spaces with millions of people who live there. It's not just a question about territories. It's a question about what will be with our neighbors, with our families, with our relatives. We can't left people alone for torture and death, because Russian occupation is not just changing one state flag to another. Russian occupation means enforced disappearances, torture, rape, denial of your identity, forcible adoption of your own children, filtration camps and mass graves.
And meanwhile, of course, Russians are mobilising Ukrainians from the occupied territories, and they're forcing them to actually join the Russian army and fight against Ukrainians. Alexander, how can this be stopped, and what more information have you got on this?
Unfortunately, we have no tool to stop it. As well, we have no tool how to stop the militarization of children there. We have 1,600,000 Ukrainian children who live in occupation, and this militarization started from the kindergarten. Russia is preparing a new generation of Putin soldiers from this 1,600,000 children, which means that they will go to fight and to die to any country which Russia sent them to go to fight and to die.
And meanwhile, we've seen Ukraine under pressure to hold fresh elections. But is that even feasible?
Ukraine don't have a need to be lectured about election. In 2004, millions of people in Ukraine organized Orange Revolution when our electoral right was stolen. So we value elections. The question is, do we have security to organize election? This is the main question.
And you have, Alexander, what President Trump really wants. That's the Nobel Peace Prize. Do you think he will ever win it?
I wish him success, because it means that he must to guarantee and to establish a just and sustainable peace. And to establish a just and sustainable peace, it's very.
And meanwhile, this week we saw you travelled to Syria. Of course, it's marking 1 week since the fall of Bashar al-Assad. What did you witness there? And do you think Syria is now a safe place for migrants based here in Europe to return?
I was impressed. I saw a country who suffered for more than 54 years from bloody dictatorship. The cities in ruins, the horrible torture chambers. But I also saw a nation which refused to be broken. And yes, now they have a chance to reconstruct and to reinvent their country, but it's a process. They need support.
They need support. OK, thank you so much, Alexander Matvichuk, for joining us live this morning on Europe Today.